Bitcoin is falling very hard to the downside, while the stock market is doing the same exact thing. Individual stocks, like for example Tesla, are down 55% from its highs. Ethereum as well, down very bad at this current moment. We have been seeing this break towards the downside, and this has been happening while Trump has been crashing the market. So we are going to need to be talking about that exactly. What is the plan of Trump to be dumping the market and to be crashing it right now? This will be very important because this current market crash will be the beginning and the catalyst of the biggest bull market ever. So need to be talking about that exactly. So can we once again push up the likes back above the 200 likes? That will be absolutely amazing. And as always, let's have a look into our short term. And yeah, Bitcoin is just falling lower and lower, just like the stock market is doing. Bitcoin, of course, is just basically following the stock market. It is still very correlated. Bitcoin has been creating this big CME gap, which is yet to be getting filled. But yeah, as of for now, Bitcoin and all of the assets are basically bleeding towards the downside. Why is this happening? Well, basically because of Trump. Because Trump wants the market to crash lower, basically to lower yields and force rate cuts. He wants the interest rates in America to be getting cut because he will need to refinance $7 trillion in debt. And well, the lower the interest rates, the less the United States will have to spend on the massive debt. So Trump wants the market to crash towards the downside. Why? Because then the interest rates will be getting lowered again, and whenever that will happen, he needs to spend less on the US debt, and ultimately lower interest rates will push the markets again, which is ultimately what we want, right? We want these lower interest rates, and basically Trump is causing that right now. In the short term, we will need to go through some short-term pain, and that is exactly where we are going through right now. The markets are still crashing, still trading inside of this downtrend. Ever since we've been breaking below the EMA ribbons for Bitcoin, I have been telling you I'm going to be cautious on the Bitcoin price. As long as we're going to be trading below the Bitcoin EMA ribbons, I will still remain to be cautious on Bitcoin. And whenever we are going to be flipping back above, that is going to be the moment where we can be flipping back bullish again. But anyways, even though Bitcoin is still trading inside of this downtrend, and while it is still following the stock market is retesting this massive EMA ribbons. It is trying to be falling down below it, but let's see if we can still hold above. But even though this is happening, well, in the longer term, there's a lot of bullish developments going on right now. Okay, first of all, we do have Trump causing interest rates to be getting cut, and in the longer term, that's going to be a very bullish development for the market. But at the same time, we are seeing that behind the scenes, whales are actually buying. We are seeing negative funding rates for Bitcoin, and all of the data is pretty much bullish in that longer term. So I'm going to be still accumulating at these current levels. Yes, in the short term, we are getting a lot of short-term pain, but in the longer term, I do think that we are going to be seeing one of the biggest reversals if in that longer term liquidity will just be once again getting injected in the market because of lower interest rates. And I'm still getting pretty bullish. Why? Because we are seeing peak levels of fear in the market. Having a look into our on-chain analytics, well, the on-chain data is still just basically showing that the whales are accumulating, that we are at these massive buying opportunity levels. Bitcoin long liquidations are at all-time highs again, and all of the time whenever this is happening, all of the time whenever we are seeing major liquidation events, it is marking a local short-term Bitcoin bottom. At the same time, all the global liquidity is still rising and still increasing, and the blue line, the Bitcoin chart, usually typically tends to follow the green line, the global liquidity. And if this is going to be happening once again, well, it is going to be expected that Bitcoin is about to be reversing anytime soon from of this current level. We are seeing huge Bitcoin buying signals at this current moment. And if we are going to be having a look into our interest rate probabilities, it is not going to be expected to see this interest rate cuts very soon. Right now, it is expected that in June, we are going to be seeing our rate cuts again. Now, honestly, I do think we are going to be getting it fairly quicker But maybe in the short term, we just need to be going through some more pain. But in that longer term, it is all going to be worth it. Now, if you are going to be getting involved in the market, it is very important to just survive in the market, especially in the crypto market. Well, if you survive this, for example, minus 50% dump, you're going to be deserving a 500% pump. This is basically true in every single market. It is just going to be the case that you need to be going through all of these dips. Even for the stock market, you just need to survive the bear market. And if you survive the bear market, well, all of the gains will be very worth it and all of the gains will be up on you. But especially for the crypto market, because in crypto, of course, is way more volatile. If you're going to be surviving all of these dumps, well, in the longer term, it is going to be all worth it, because if you have survived this dump over here, well, in the end of the day, we just pushed even further, right? If you've survived this dump over here, in the end of the day, it was all worth it. We got even higher. And if you're surviving this Bitcoin dump over here as well, in the end of the day, it's all going to be worth it. And we're just going to be pushing higher again. It's going to be inevitable. In the end of the day, the markets are going to be so primed to go much and much higher. So it is going to be very important to right now just stay patient, survive in the market, and have a look into towards when the market may recover back towards the upside. We can be seeing that on the daily time frame. We are printing a bullish divergence at this current moment. So this is definitely signaling already that we may get this short-term Bitcoin bounce and a short-term Bitcoin reversal over here. That might be very good. At the same time, we are forming this falling wedge pattern, and if we are going to be breaking this one out towards the upside, that might be our reversal. And at the break back towards the upside, I'm definitely going to be getting interested in longing this because, well, the data is just very bullish. It is going to be very obvious that in that longer term time frame, we are just printing a macro time frame bottom again for the Bitcoin price. But the question is just going to be, when are we going to be getting this? I mean, on the weekly time frame, well, we are still just trading above the Bitcoin EMA ribbons. And at this current moment, we are already trading at a massive level of support. If we are going to be approaching this previous level of resistance, right now flipping into our support. Now, we maybe had it a little bit lower in the short term. We maybe had it towards these previous levels of traded resistance for Bitcoin. This might be a very good opportunity in the market, but let's see if we are actually going to be getting these low levels, because everyone is already expecting Bitcoin to retrace towards these levels. And whenever everyone is going to be expecting it, it is usually not going to happen. Now, anyways, for me, what my strategy will be is I will be watching this Bitcoin falling wedge pattern very closely. Whenever we're going to be breaking this one out towards the upside, I'm definitely going to be getting interested in opening up some positions. Anyways, guys, if you're going to be getting interested in trading yourself as well, make sure to be checking out that first link down below. Make sure to prepare yourself right now already. With that first link down below, you can be claiming a 10% cashback bonus, which is absolutely insane. But anyways, if we are still just going to be zooming out for Bitcoin during this cycle, well, many people are talking about the fact that they think that the cycle is over right now already. But I think that this couldn't be further away from the truth, because if we're going to be having a look into history, it is clearly showing us that we are still at these pretty early levels. And if you were to be selling all of your assets during these previous cycles at these dips that we've been having, because during the previous cycles we have been also having many corrections. Well, if you sold during the previous cycles, you have also been missing out on all of these huge gains that are about to come, that have come also during the previous cycle. So I think something similar is just playing out right now. We are just seeing the correction right before we are headed even more towards the upside. I mean, the cycle is just repeating. The 4-year cycle has been getting repeated every single cycle. So why would it be different this time around? I mean, in that longer term, this is just going to be another correction that we want to be buying. And in that longer term, this is just going to be another very good buying opportunity. If we're going to be zooming out, it is going to be still looking very great for all of the analytics, all of the data that we are getting. So I'm definitely not going to be getting fooled right now. In the longer term, this is just going to be a massive trap. Yes, Trump is crashing the markets right now, but in the longer term, it's all going to be worth it. Whenever the interest rates will be getting cut again, it's going to be all very worth it. So anyways, guys, with that being said, make sure to be following me over on X to be staying up to date about every single market development. And guys, I'll see you in another update video tomorrow morning.